All right, we put the Norton aside, waiting for parts that I've ordered. And now we're going to go back to working on this little, boy, what a pretty bike. Ordered a bunch of parts, and they are over here. These are parts that are not going back on the bike. These are parts that are going back on the bike. These are new parts, LEDs, boots, springs, seals, a fork lock, which I'm really not sure how works. I've never replaced one before. That'll be an adventure. A shifter rubber and new spring bolt for the passenger peg. This is a modified wire diagram that I did years ago, which helps me work on these 6-volt bikes. So here we are, ready to go. Here's the bike. Got wires hanging out. We'll hook them up and do the forks and the bulbs. And it is, at this point in time, 10:30. A good time to start a new project. All right, I've got the new key switch installed. This is a later model switch. Nice on and off, that's all there is. And it feeds the ignition and power to the light switch. This is the light switch, and although it looks nice and clean and actually nice and shiny, spiffy bright, it's intermittent. As I was testing, one moment I'd have lights, next minute I wouldn't, next minute I would, next minute I wouldn't. I was over here tracing these 3 wires, trying alternate connections, and couldn't, all of a sudden I realized that the more I shook this switch assembly, the lights would flicker on and off. So I'm going to take it apart. Now it's a non-repairable device. You're not supposed to take it apart. You're supposed to replace it. I take them apart all the time. So we're going to talk about that. I'll show you the process. All right, so I've got the light switch in the vise gently. This is held together by by the little dimples. And all you have to do is undimple them and the back will come out. So there's 4 little dimples, and I'm going to use a pair of cutting pliers to come in here and just gently undimple the dimple, like so. And then up here, let's see, sorry. Up here, undimple this one. So that's 2 of them that are undimpled. I'll do the next 2 offline and then come back to the video. All right, here's the switch with the backside off. I undimpled the 4 dimples, and then I used a Dremel tool around the outside edge to take the roughness off so I could pop the back out. This is as it looks like when you take it out. Got these contacts in here that rotate with the switch handle, and these are stationary. These are all glommed up with grease, and these look like they're oxide covered. I'm going to show you what happens when you pull one of these out. Here's what they look like, and they're sitting on top of these springs, and the sole purpose in life for these springs is to pop out of here and fall off of your workbench, land on the floor, run away, and hide. So be very careful about these springs. Basically don't take them out. All right, so we take the contacts out, and the spring came with it. Magnetic. Don't you just love it? And over here, we take this one out. So now we got them out, all right? And now we clean the contacts. So, here we go. We're going to clean the contacts, and I'll show you what they look like when I get done with that. All right, I've cleaned the contacts, even these little ones. I took them over and held them very, 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 very tight and hit them on the wire wheel to clean the contact part the top part. All right, so those are nice and shiny now. And then I also use the wire wheel on these contacts in here. So the contacts are nice and clean now. What I'm going to do is put it back together, and I'm going to use a little white lithium grease in there. So they have a little bit of grease, but I like white lithium. I don't have any dielectric grease. I should, but I don't. And the white lithium seems to work just fine. Okay, little white lithium grease on there. The little springs are in the little holes, and the little contacts are on top of the little springs. I told you before, the spring's only job in the world is to get lost, and about 30 seconds after I said that, I dropped one of them. Took me about, I don't know how long to find it, down on the rug. You know, self-fulfilling prophecy. Anyway, this is ready to go back together. Notice there's a key at the top of the case, and there is a key on the board. Working one-handed here, it's very difficult to show you. But let's see. Okay, there's the key slot at the top, and over here is the key on the contacts. So I'm going to put them back together now and carefully re-dimple them to hold them together. Okay, this is crude, but it works. Put the switch in the vise gently, and using a ball peen hammer, while pressing down on the center like so, to hold it together, and pressing down. You can see it moving down. Let's zoom in a little. See it moving down? While holding it down, use the ball peen hammer on this side and then that side to hold it together, and then go around and peen the whole thing. Can't really show you me doing it, but that's how I'm going to do it. Okay, what I ended up doing is using a socket in the center, pressing down on it very hard, and then ball peening the four corners. And as you can see, I'll push down real hard. There's no movement. The contact plate is in there very, very solid. The ball peening I did not use the ball end. I used the sharp end and hit it like so. I can't get these to focus. Okay, like so. And hitting four sides where the original dimples were, I ball peened a whole lot more than the size of the original dimples. So it is very tightly put together, and it will be just fine. No movement, tighter than a drum, and the contacts are all clean. So I'm going to put it together now and see if it solves my intermittent problem. And here's just one last bird's eye view of the dimpling I did on all four corners to hold it together. It's actually probably tighter than when I took it apart. So anyway, I'm going to install it now. Just wanted to show you one last shot.